I was just in Seattle and we went to visit the Chihuly art exhibit. And we went from room to room full of the most beautiful, incredible glass art from flowers to all kinds of things that were created by human hands. Every one of them was glass and made with so much intention. And watching what someone could create totally new from scratch, that hit different. It made me want to come home and change things up in my own garden. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'll share more with you in this week's episode. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Grow You Girl channel. My name is Sherry, and I am delighted that you are here with me today because today we're going to plant up one of my favorite things in the garden, lettuce. But before we get to that, I want to just tell you a little bit about our journey today together here on this week's episode. Not only are we going to plant up some lettuce seeds, which is one of really my favorite things in the garden as far as veggies go. I predominantly grow flowers in my garden, but lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, those are the veggies that I love, and some onions, carrots. This year I am going to try sweet potatoes too. However, getting started with lettuce is what we're going to talk about today, as well as like, what are you doing this year? And I would love for you to leave this in the comments to shake it up a little bit in the garden. Or if you're new to gardening, what are you going to try first? What is it that you really are anxious to try, whether it's growing from seed, maybe it's a pot out on your balcony. What is it that you really are excited to grow this year? And what I am coming into this spring, as I record this, spring is 20 days away. And what I am coming into this season with is, what can I do differently this year? How can I learn? How can I grow a little more with something I haven't tried before? So we're going to talk about that today, in that when you go on a trip or you travel. Now, we went to Seattle to the Pacific Northwest Garden Show, is where our journeys took us. And as you saw in that intro clip, that we went to the Chihuly exhibit and gardens, which was magnificent. It got me so excited about the art of gardening. And in their gardens there, how they actually put the glass work in with the beautiful gardens that they have, as well as they had demonstrations. We were right underneath the Space Needle. It was just really pretty cool. In addition, at the Flower and Garden Show, I got to meet quite a few gardeners that I admire along my journeys, and learned a lot at the workshops they have. So it's coming home, and what can I put into effect for my garden this year that's going to make it a little different? So one of the things that and if we have time, I'm going to try to also get into, well, I'm going to give you an update, because once we get these planted, we're going to take, right now we're in my kitchen, but we're going to take it down to the grow room, show you where these will go from here. I'm also trying these out. This is a new thing I'm trying out, are these burpees containers. I have been using Epic Gardenings for years, which I absolutely love. I'll show you those when we get down to the grow room. But I thought I would try these out. They come with their own little tray, and we'll see how they go. I got both of there's an 8-pack, and then I got, it's a 16-pack. And I thought these would be pretty cool for the lettuce, to do my lettuce in. And what's cool about them is that they have this little pop-up that you can just pop the plants out like that. So that's a pretty cool. And again, trying something new, not doing the same thing over and over again. I have been doing seeds indoors for about 5 years or so, and I actually have fallen in love with doing them indoors. I've always either direct sowed, bought plants at the local garden center, but doing these indoors has just been a game changer for me, because one, it allows me to start gardening a lot sooner, and I believe it's actually cost savings as well. And in these days, we do need to be doing cost savings. So we'll go down in the grow room, and then what I was going to say is that if we have time, one of my goals for this winter was to redo our closets in our primary bedroom. I've been cleaning out closets all over the house, which has felt so good because I know once the gardening season hits, you know, the indoors gets, I don't know about you, but my indoors gets a little bit ignored. So I'll show you what we did with that. And it just feels so good to have it done. So good. All right. So with that, let's go ahead. What I have here in front of me is soil that it's a seed starter soil that I have gotten from our local, the Flower Bin, which is the local garden center that I go to. And I have mixed it with, if you've watched me sow seeds before, you know, I like Coco Coir. I like it because it stretches my soil, and soil is not cheap these days. If you want to get a good soil, which I always recommend, you know, good dirt. You got to have good dirt to start with. So Coco Coir comes in blocks. You break it down with water, and it just gives you this consistency that you mix in with your soil. So that is in this soil already. And then one thing that I have not done in previous years is used fertilizer in my seed starting operations. So I am trying this True Organic. It is a pre-plant starter. I have mixed it up with water according to directions. And I have already put some, not a whole, you know, because I'm experimenting, right? Gardening is a lot about experimenting. So I'm putting some in. I put this much into this. I might put a little bit more, just a little bit more, right? Can't hurt, can it? But you don't want to put too much because you don't, and that's why I've, you know, I don't know. Fertilizer has always been one thing that I have been a little hesitant about. I use compost, a lot of compost out in the garden itself, but fertilizer inside I don't use as much, and I'm trying to be better at that. So, right, when we can improve at things. All right, so I am going to put on, well, wait a minute. Before I put on my gloves and get my hands all dirty, let me tell you some of the things that I've got over here. Let me push this over to the side a little bit. So I've gotten dirt everywhere. Some of the things that I'm growing. Now, these seed packets are open because I'm using up my seeds first off from last year, and lettuce seeds go a long way. They're tiny little seeds, and so they go a long way. So I've got arugula, several things of arugula that I'm doing. I'm doing some gourmet baby greens. I'm doing kale. You know, it's funny, I look at all these colors, and that's one of the things at the Chihuly exhibit. The colors of the glass were just fascinating to me, and we actually even got to see them make glass. You know, how they go about starting to do blowing the glass, as they call it, and it was just fascinating to me. All right, mustard spinach. We've got endives. We've got some baby romaines. I hope you can see all this. Just a, you know, a really big variety. This is called Rogue de Hiver. It's a type of romaine. Mustard spinach. We've got, what else do I have here? I've got Swiss chard, etc. So there is a lot. I even have the thank you pack, because one of the things with Botanical Interest, they always send a thank you pack with your order of seeds. This is a mescaline mix. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? And here we go. And all I'm going to do is simply put this into the containers. And when you're filling your containers, whatever size it is, you just want to pack it in, but not too tight. And because you want to give the seed room to grow, right? But not so tight. So here we go. we've got everything filled. So now I can start to put in the seeds. I'm starting off with these pelleted. These are the only pelleted seeds I have. And again, sometimes they will pellet these. Usually they'll pellet because the seeds are so tiny and they're easier to handle. But I'm going to put those in. And then just as I put them in, I'm going to put a little bit of dirt on top of each one. And I'm putting 2 seeds to a container just to make sure that one of them germinates at the very least. Put a little dirt on the top, and then at the end I'll do the vermiculite. Now I'm also I've been making up little markers to put in there so I know which is one, and I'm going to do 1 row for each different type for this little experiment. When I direct sow lettuce outdoors, I definitely do more. The next one I'm going to do here is the mesclun mix because these guys, especially with the mix, look at how small they are. So I'm going to kind of sprinkle them in. I call it the sprinkle method because I just put it between my fingers and kind of sprinkle it in that way so I can get the mix of it. And this is, again, an experiment for me in doing it that way. I'm going to actually do 2 rows of this mesclun because I really love this mix. And we'll see what pops up because you can always pull out what you don't want. All right, and I'm just pouring it back into the package. And that is the mesclun mix. And I'm just going to put dirt on top. I got into this because I got into the idea of not directly putting it outside from the school experiment that I had done last year with the local school district, and being able to see the difference of planting them because they're on such a time crunch with the kids, because we go in there and we started in January growing them. They have to get to the schools by, I'm going to do this one, mesclun mix. They have to get to the schools so the kids can see each stage of the lettuce production, so that we planted the seeds in January. I'll put a picture up here so that you can see just how many we did in the greenhouse. And then by March is then when we could take it to the schools. We had them under plastic because March here in Colorado, you never know what is going to happen. And then by April, the end of April, before school got out, we could have different pieces of it. So I really enjoyed having the lettuce like that and having it so soon, because I've been waiting until May, sometimes June, to get my lettuce. And I love having lettuce. You know, we've been getting lettuce off of our hydroponic system, which I have absolutely loved. And I'll show you that here in a few when we go down to the grow room, including a little bit of a failure I had down with hydroponics. It made me sad, but okay, so we've got arugula, again, teeny tiny seeds. Just gonna sprinkle a few in, see what takes, and away we go. So there is, and it's funny, when we did it with the schools, they said 1 seed, but I did put a few because I didn't trust it. I didn't trust it, so, and it worked out great. All right, so we're gonna put, and you don't want a lot of dirt on the top again because these are little tiny seeds. So now, that was the arugula, right? Let me write that down really quick before I forget on my marker. The arugula is this last one. And then what I'm going to do is vermiculite. Vermiculite is this consistency of, I don't even know what vermiculite is. I'll put a thing on the screen of the definition of it. But it just helps to, it allows a light to come through without, you know, being, it keeps, there's a variety of things that it does, including keeping things from getting mildewy, because it can happen in the grow room. So there's a vermiculite, and it helps it to absorb the water too. It helps keep water, because one thing you don't want to do with seeds is allow them to go dry. So we've got this tray done, and let's put this over here in its own little tray without knocking the camera over. All right, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? I love it. So what do we do next? We will do some, how about Swiss chard? I love Swiss chard. And I never thought I would ever say that, but I do. And it's great in smoothies and all kinds of things. Cooking it. I'm actually a pescatarian, but mostly vegetarian. And so getting greens in my food is really, but these are the seeds for the, what did I just pour? My mind just went blank. The Swiss chard, of course. So there's the seeds for that. And I am going to do one row in here of Swiss chard. And again, the beauty of gardening is being able to grow what you love to eat. Experimenting is good too, though, my friends. I think that that is an important thing. I'm going to put about 3 of these in each one. I don't know why, but I feel the need to do that. We're going to take these babies downstairs. We're going to water them in when we get downstairs, and show you what happens from here. So let's take these babies downstairs to the grow room. And here we go. I have tucked the kale and the Swiss chard in with the lithianthus. Oh, nice and toasty in here. We're going to put those in together for now. I'm going to move these around pretty quickly. Down here you will find our dahlias, which are doing beautifully. And then I am going to put the rest of these guys, and if this is your first time here, this is our workout room as well as our grow room. So just to let you know why there's a trampoline here, along with a bike and many other things. This is our hydroponic system. And then if you've missed our video about the herbs, we've got our herb garden going there, some germinating up there. But I am going to put these on this heat mat here for now. Things will be adjusted accordingly as we start to get a lot of things going down here. But for now, it's very intriguing, and I think I'm going to get more of these. I do like them. And I think if I get another, maybe 3 or 4 of them for this. And then here's the other ones that I use. Let me just show you this, that the dahlias are in. These are the ones that I get from Epic, and I have used these over and over again over the years. But I tell you, this year, the lithianthus, which is taking forever, and I know this to be true, and I don't know why I did so many of them, but I did. They're using up all my containers, so I may let some of them go. I don't know. Always make sure your lids are tight. And what's happening is you can see that this humidity dome is keeping them moist, which is really a good thing to do. And all you need to do is water them in and you are good to go. Check your seedlings every day. I think it's a really important thing. All right, my friends, I think this is going to be a wrap for this week. I know I promised the closet adventure, but we will do that next week. And just so this video doesn't go on and on and on. And so next week we'll do the closet adventure. We will also talk about flower seeds that I have in mind because my other order should be in by then, and I will be out in the garden planning and thinking and scoping it all out in the week ahead, and I look forward to sharing that with you next week. So until then, I want to remind you to plant often and to always do it with love. Take good care. Thanks for joining me today, and know that we do videos every Sunday morning. A new video comes out, and we hope that you look through our channel to find other videos to inspire you. Be sure to subscribe, and remember, when you grow a garden, you grow yourself.